What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I hope everyone had a fantastic Friday as we head into the weekend. Sunday, finally, Tua Tagovailoa is back, and we will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars over there in London. So, absolutely awesome stuff as we creep closer towards an early Sunday morning for all of us, especially those on the West Coast. I feel it for you. So, all right, guys. I got a bunch of stuff I want to go over. Obviously, it's a preview show. We're gonna go over everything in terms of offensive keys to victory, defensive keys to victory, the matchup I think to watch that'll decide the game. And then we'll also obviously look over the weather, look over the injury report. We'll look at team rankings between both teams. And then I have an article I want to go over with you guys, written by Ian Wharton, who I've always liked his work and always respected him. So I want to read his piece for you. But before we get into everything, I've been hearing some things, and I want to go over everything with you guys in terms of what I'm hearing heading into this weekend. So um I got hit up this morning around 9:30, and I had a conversation with someone, and I ended up posting a lot of what went up there on the patreon.com/FinSaid the NFL. When I have these kind of discussions with people in the know, I always whatever I can talk about, I put up there. Like there was something I was told today that I'm not allowed to talk about right now, and there was a lot of interesting tidbits there. I had some Xavier Howard nuggets. What the situation with the play calling right now. I got nuggets on that up there on the Patreon, all that kind of stuff. And one of the key things that stood out that I was told today was, from what I've been told, there is legitimate concern amongst the Miami Dolphins coaching staff in regards to Tua Tagovailoa's arm strength right now, as he currently nurses the fractured ribs back to full health. And you guys all saw to it today. He said he wasn't fully 100%, but he's 100% ready to play football. So, from what I'm told, there is an arm strength concern with the coaching staff right now. And so, about an hour ago, I went and I ended up talking with Nick Hicks, and me and Nick talked directly, and Nick told me that that's not true. Tua's fantastic right now. Tua's ready to go. He's good to go, and that what I was told wasn't spot on. So the person who told me about the concern, you got to understand, it's not about whether it's true or not, whether the arm strength is true or not. It's the fact that the first person is telling me the coaching staff is concerned. They're not saying, it's a fact his arm strength is questionable right now. So, he's he's gonna have to be protected, and there's no way this guy's gonna be throwing 40 times. Like, there's just no way they're gonna be asking him to go out there and throw a whole hell of a lot. So I personally think, I agree with Michael Plisic just said he's definitely going to be limited. I agree, and he's going to be rusty at the beginning. I'm not expecting bombs. Keep it, if he's nursing them, keep it short to intermediate. And then take a few shots deep. But I don't expect to be challenging a ton over top of a defense right now. I just don't. And I implore you guys, just because there's some, I don't want to give everything away on the Patreon, but I mean, there's some Xavier Howard nuggets there. Go check them out. It was actually a pretty interesting little post I made today, so go check it out. But what I'm being told right now is obviously there's concern with Tua Tagovailoa and his arm strength right now. But I mean, obviously there would have to be some kind of concern. So, and B. Hardinger is right. Maybe this will force them to commit to the run, because they have a quarterback that's nursing fractured ribs right now. Could this be another blessing in disguise? Z-Man, you're a Patreon, aren't you, Z-Man? I'm pretty sure you are. I know you saw Z-Man said, I'm telling you, Flo gone by the end of the season. All I'm going to say is, from what I'm hearing, there is a belief amongst a certain group of people that could be the case. So, I mean, that's the working belief right now. If this thing continues to go south, there's people right now in the locker room and on the coaching staff that believe Brian Flores will not be here after this season. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy how the mighty have fallen, but that's if things continue to go south. It's kind of crazy, you know. It's because of what I keep stressing, right? Like, not only is the offense, not only have they not got the offense right, but right now the defense hasn't gotten right. And that's supposed to be his baby. That's supposed to be his thing. And I think they'll accept you trying to get they'll be patient with you trying to get the offense right. I don't think they'll be patient with you if the defense falls off a cliff after the year you had. Again, expectations. Expectations are a dangerous, dangerous thing right now. I'm telling you, people. This is why I kept warning people. Expectations are here. Expectations are here, and everyone wants Joe Brady. Why are we so hung up on Joe Brady right now? Why are we so hung up on Joe Brady? I'd take Dabble over before I take Joe Brady. Hell, I'd take Bieniemy before I take Joe Brady. Both guys come with offensive coordinators. Dabble with Dorsey, Bieniemy with Kafka. All had a hand in developing quarterbacks in the NFL level. Dabble actually has worked with Tua before. I don't know about the Joe Brady. To be honest, I would prefer a tenured coach, someone who's been a coach before. That's the thing that worries me about Brady, Dabble, and a guy like Bieniemy is no one has head coaching experience. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this transpires. I mean, this is literally we are in must-win territory. Like, you need to come away with London with a W. This is like not even a question right now. This is we went. You remember if you guys remember, we went back to the Colts game, right? We said this isn't a must-win game yet, but it's borderline. Well, now we are in a must-win game. And this is a team that is probably thinking, well, they're probably obviously thinking it's must-win, but how we're looking down on them, don't think for a second Jacksonville is not looking down on us right now. It's the exact same scenario. They see us as a wounded duck. We see them as an easy kill. And D23 is 110% correct right now. Every game right now is a must win. I agree 110%. The fact of the matter is we cannot expect them to run the gauntlet. It's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Especially with Kingsbury, I don't know what Staley's background is collegiate wise. Kingsbury was a head coach in college. Joe Brady was a coordinator in college. Joe Brady's never been a head coach. Dabble's always been an offensive coordinator or a position coach. So that's what I'm saying with that. They haven't even been head coaches at the collegiate level. I don't know what Staley's background is. I have to look it up. Dylan says Jim Harbaugh is the guy for me. I mean, if you objectively look at it, it makes sense. Like the connection to Ross, want to get away from Michigan. Problem is, apparently, he's a weirdo. Apparently, he's a weirdo. He's a handful. He's hard to coach. So I don't know. We'll see. If Jim Harbaugh can bring what he brought to San Francisco, let's go. I just don't think he's very good at. I at the collegiate level. I just don't think he's very good at drawing prospects. Joe Levesque, yes, we did have Dabble years ago as a coordinator. It was a year where Chad Henne had that really bad start, and then Matt Moore finished the year out. We had Dabble. He was an interim, I think. If I remember correctly, he was an interim. I might be wrong. But see, if you go look at a guy like Sarkisian, right? Everyone would have thought Sarkisian was a bust after Atlanta got rid of him, but then he went and learned under Saban, and now he's gone to Texas, So, anyways, yeah, Jim does not like to recruit. That's the problem. Jim's fine with polished products, but he's a better NFL coach than he is a collegiate coach. I will say that. And you got to think him and Ross have a really good relationship. The problem is right now is we aren't going to know head coach. Listen, first of all, who's to say Brian Flores is going to get canned? Second of all, even if he was to get canned, the GM Grier will be going with him. They will both be going. And you're going to have to think who's going to replace Chris Grier. And then whoever replaces Chris Grier, that guy is going to want to bring in his own head coach. Jabari, hey, Bill O'Brien is head coach, but not GM. It's a discussion I've had with people if they were to trade for Watson and they want to blow everything up. Because this is the thing. Okay, people follow me along here, okay? You need to execute this Watson trade. If you're Stephen Ross and you truly want him, you need to execute the Watson trade before the offseason because you could fire Grier. And the problem you're going to have with that is if you fire Grier and you bring in a new guy, if you put a mandate on whoever takes that GM job that they have to trade the picks for Watson, you're going to get people being kind of that's going to turn people off. A new GM is going to want free reign, and they're most likely going to want to use those 3 first-round picks over the next 2 years and put their stamp on the team with those picks. Now, because of the quarterback class this has this year, that could buy Tua a year under the new regime to prove I can be your guy, and you don't got to spend one of those picks. So I could see them potentially, not saying they would, but potentially passing this year, and it buys them 1 year until the next class. But I don't know. It really everyone's job turns into, goes up to question, because if you hire a new GM and he rebuilds the front office, he's going to want his own coach. So Flores is going to be a dead man walking anyways. That's the thing. Unless they hire from within, a new GM basically makes Flores a dead man watching because that's not his guy. Dead man walking, sorry. And the also problem is if you promote Marvin Allen or Reggie McKenzie, one of those guys, you're not rebooting the culture. You're not blowing up the scouting department. You're not changing everything philosophical, the way guys are drafted, and the way players are signed, and the relationship between the GM and the coach. You're not changing any of that. It continues. The cycle continues. If you're going to get rid of Grier, you need to purge the whole front office, and that's an off-season move. So that's why if you're going to make the trade for Watson and you're Stephen Ross and you want him, you got to do it by the trade deadline. And then you get rid of Grier, and then new GM comes in, and it is what it is, what they have in front of them. That's how that needs to go down. So I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying that would be the cleanest way. But yeah, the return of Mike Tannenbaum. Oh my God. If that happened, I swear on my Lord, I would lose my mind. But then again, he would have drafted Herbert over Tua. And I feel like we'd still be, I feel like obviously Herbert would be, because of his athleticism, would be flashing a little bit more right now. Clearly, there's no doubt about it. But I don't think he'd be where he's at right now in Los Angeles with the Miami Dolphins by any stretch of the imagination. So, all right, let's get into the preview of the show. Ireland would be an improvement, but see, everyone's saying Tannenbaum, Ireland, etc. These are guys that Grier learned under and has carried certain philosophies from these guys on in this organization. That's what people don't realize. Grier is like a mixture of all of these guys' different philosophies that we've already cleaned house because he's stayed through the ranks. That's why you need to clean that. You need to just wipe it. Right? Like that's what you need to do. So, anyways, let's get into the preview for this game. No one's getting fired right now. But if this continues to go south and this team wins 4, 5, 6 games, I can tell you right now it's not going to end well for anyone other than the name Steve Ross because he owns the team. All right, let's get into this. But before we do, if you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. Become a Finside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. You'll get insider information like I got today, and that I'll be able to post up there. You'll get it directly. You also get mod status. If you're a Patreon and you are not modded yet, please let me know. On top of that, just like the members of this channel, you will get early access to my Jalen Phillips video, which I'm actually going to be dropping on either Tuesday night or Wednesday night this next week to the Patreons, and then it'll come out a day later to everyone else, but it'll be available to the Patreons and it'll be available to the YouTube channel members. If you want to be a YouTube channel member, go down below. You can click the join button right next to the subscribe button, and there's multiple levels. You get perks like the emojis you see in the chat. You also get a badge next to your name, and like the Patrons, you'll get early access to my Jalen Phillips film study, and then I'll be doing Javon Holland. But I'm just going to see if there's some plays that I want to pull out of this game, throw them in there, and basically we'll be good to go for next week with Jalen Phillips, man. So patchvibes.com, use code FINSIDE to save 20% off your order, guys. They got great stuff over there. Shout out to Patch Vibes. They got great patches like this Tua patch. They got shirts. I got shirts over there. They got sweaters. Go check them out. Shout out to patchvibes.com. Backroomcollection.net. Use code REASON. Save 10% off your order. Guys, they got some crazy signed memorabilia going on. They got canvases. Y'all have seen the Jalen Waddle canvases. The Tua canvas I have. But they got like autographed canvases from Ricky Williams. They have Justin Herbert autograph stuff. They have visors for helmets autograph. Go check them out. Use code REASON. Save 10% off your order. And thrivefantasy.com. Use code FINSIDE. Have every dollar up to your first 100 deposit matched at thrivefantasy.com, the number one fantasy prop betting outlet on the internet. All right, guys, let's get into and if you're new here, subscribe and hit that like button. Let's get into tonight. Sorry, not tonight. Saturday, but tonight. Let's get into it right now. And let's start off with the weather report all the way over where they'll be having a spotted tea at halftime. All right, so kickoff all through to the final whistle. Apparently, it's going to be overcast. It's going to feel like 61 Fahrenheit over there, and the humidity is going to go from 81%, fluctuate to 79, and back up to 80. So it's not going to be a pretty game in terms of the sun is not going to be shining down on everyone. As you see, the cloud cover is going to be like between 93 to 94%, but it's not going to be raining, so that's good. So it's just going to be one of those overcast, ugly days, but let's make it a beautiful thing by giving the Jacksonville Jaguars the work on the gridiron. Please, Miami, this is not a game you can afford to miss out on taking home, and then taking home a W with on the flight back. Because if you're leaving London and you don't have a W, you might want to leave some people on the tarmac. I'm just saying. Um. All right. So the injury report, and this is where it starts to get ugly for the Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins right now, Xavier Howard has been officially ruled out. Devontae Parker is also officially ruled out. Jacoby Brissett, Byron Jones, Adam Shaheen, Preston Williams are all questionable. So Preston, and he's battling a groin issue, which is one of the worst, especially when you're a receiver and you're relying on your quick cuts and your breaks in and out of your routes. So absolutely brutal stuff for the Dolphins in terms of the names that are on that list. You got Byron Jones also battling an Achilles, has now a groin has been added to the injury report. So these are the worst type of nagging injuries that we could possibly hope on guys in skill positions that rely on mirroring individuals, breaking in and out of routes, cutting. So and Preston Williams, just we're in year 3 and it's the same old. His name, you might as well etch it in on every injury report before, preseason, because it's ridiculous right now. This guy lives on the injury report. But the Xavier Howard, it's the groin that is the nagging. It's not so much the shoulder, and it shut him down. So hopefully Xavier Howard can be back, but we're gonna need him by Halloween. So the thing, we might even need him next week against Atlanta because Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts are no joke. So um but yeah, our wide receiving class, I want people to really actually sit back and realize this. Your top receiving options going into this game, because even if Preston plays with the groin, he's going to be on limited counts. So a banged up Preston Williams, Mac Hollins, Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle, and just Gaskin out of the backfield, because I ain't relying on guys like Isaiah Ford. So the crazy thing is, Preston Williams and Devontae Parker, they have the potential to each have 1,000 receiving yard seasons at the same time. Yet Tua Tagovailoa, since he's been here, has only played a half of football with them both healthy at the same time, and that was all the way back last year against Arizona. Like, these guys can't even stay healthy right now. It's unreal. And again, Fuller, IR, all these players, like, it's you spend that money on Will Fuller, and what are you getting out of him? And he's not even helping your young quarterback when you could have thrown that money at a guy like Corey Linsley. And then you draft Jalen Waddle on top of it, and you don't even know how to use a kid right. It's just ridiculous right now. And then when we go look at the Jaguars, it ain't that pretty for them. So Miles Jack and Rashad Coward both did not even travel with the team, so they're out. But they're pretty much good to go for the most part. I mean, Roy Robertson Harris and Tyson Campbell, they're going to be going. I mean, and then the rest of these names on this list, other than Marvin Jones, I mean, what are you really worried about, right? So, yeah, they're not really as banked up. Now, Rashad Coward is one of their better offensive linemen. I will say that. And Miles Jack is obviously one of the better defensive players. But, I mean, and obviously they do not have DJ Shark. He's out. So they'll be depending on guys like Laviska Shenault Jr., Marvin Jones, as well as others to put it together. including that new tight end addition, Arnold. So, yeah, the Dolphins just less names than the Jaguars injury report, but way more important, impactful players, especially when you look at Adam Shahid right now. I mean, the Miami Dolphins right now currently run the most 12-man personnel in the NFL. 41% of their snaps um, have been in 12-man personnel. So, all right, let's go here. All right. So when we look at how these teams stack up ranking wise, it's really not a pretty sight for either side. And this is why when you even just take a glance at this is why I said, you know, this is why I said it's not so. This is why I said they're looking at us and they are seeing a team that is just as easy for the taking. And let's be honest, we've been the launch pad for everyone's running game, but they're coming in where their running game is already the best part of this team, arguably, right? So, let's get into this right here. Okay. All right. So right now, the Miami Dolphins are the 31st in yards per game, averaging about 285. Jacksonville's averaging 358.6, so almost 70 yards more a little over 70 yards more per game, and they're 22nd in the league. Passing yards, the Dolphins right now are 30th at 191.4. They dropped below what Tua even threw in game one under Jacoby Brissett, and they're 30th. Passing yards, Jacksonville's 27th, averaging about 218.6. Now, rushing yards. The Dolphins continue to get worse. You guys have seen this chart every week. And guess what? Now they're officially dead last in the league at 70.4%. I mean, this is not good. Like, what needs to be said right now where you how let me just put it this way. How is your running back averaging almost just over 5 yards per carry, yet you're the worst in the league at running the football? Make it make sense for me right now. Please, someone. And they're sixth in the NFL. They're averaging about 129.4 yards per game. And that's because James Robinson is averaging about 5.8 yards per attempt. He's got 4 touchdowns right now. Man, what's crazy is he has 387 yards, and 282 of those 387, guess what? They're after contact. He's averaging 4.21 yards after contact per attempt. The guy is just absolutely killing it right now. And you remember last year when we faced him, he was really good against us then too. So, um, anyways, continuing on, you know, points per game were 31st, 15.8. They're 28th at 18.6. And guys, this is with they're putting up these better statistics in certain areas with a coach that's more worried about grinding on young women after losing a game than going and getting the ship right. Third down percentage, they're 29th in the league at 32.7 conversion clip, and Dolphins are 25th at 35.4%. Defensively, this is where it continues to get ugly for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are allowing 438.8 yards per game. Jacksonville, 417.8. We're 30th, they're 28th. Something's got to give here. Passing yards, they're allowing 286.6 yards per game, which is 26th. The Dolphins are right there, allowing 288.6 at 27th. Something's got to give there. Rushing yards, they're allowing 121.8 per game. They're 20th. We're allowing only 4 yards more than they're averaging offensively, which is 133.6, 24th in the league defensively. While again, their offense is 6th best at running the football. And again, battle of the basement over here in points per game defensively. We're 30th, allowing 30.8 points per game. They're 30.4 points per game allowed is 29th. Battle of the basements. And then it gets even prettier here. The Miami Dolphins have gone from the number 1 last year third down defense in the NFL to they're the 32nd, allowing a conversion clip of 57.1%. That means they are allowing conversions at almost not at double the rate Jacksonville is currently converting at, and Jacksonville's 29th. They're allowing almost 25% more of a conversion rate on third down than Jacksonville has. That is ridiculous. Jacksonville is allowing 41% and they're 16th. So when you look at the team defenses and the team offenses right now, the Miami Dolphins are the 30th ranked team defense. The Jaguars are the 29th ranked. So they're right there. Offensively, the Dolphins are 31st in team offense in the NFL right now. Jacksonville is 28th. Like, do you see why I said they're looking at us and they're licking their chops and saying we can get it over them? Ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. And it gets even uglier, people. When you look at how we are against the run, all right? It's really not pretty when our defense is, because when you look at how they are against the run in the red zone, the Dolphins are actually decent. They have a 53% successful play rate as a defense in the red zone against the run. But it's actually passing where they're the 11th worst in the NFL with a 44% successful play rate against opposing offenses in the red zone. So, and I know Brady propped that one up against us big time, right? And then Jacksonville, if you look at Jacksonville, they have a 58% successful rate, which is 27, which is 5th best in the NFL at 58% defensively against passes. And then when you look at them, they are again 5th best in the NFL at a 56% successful play rate against opposing runs in their red zone. So, Jacksonville's doing better in the red zone than our defensively than our defense is. And then when you look at how the offenses both are in the red zone right now, Jacksonville, they're actually 12th best in the NFL right now, running a 54% successful play rate on runs in the red zone. Miami is actually 15th. They're actually 8 of 15 for 53% successful play rate in the red zone offensively running the football. Now, passing the football, and you guys have all seen Trevor Lawrence turn the ball over at a high rate. Well, Jacksonville is actually 29th. They are 6 of 18 for 33% successful play rate, passing the football in the red zone. Miami right now, they're 6 of 14 for 43%, which is 18th best in the NFL. Cincinnati, in case you were wondering, is number one in pass success rate, 80% successful play rate in the red zone, passing the football. And their offense is clicking because they're actually number 3 in successful play rate running the football in the red zone. So you look at this right now, Jacksonville loves to run the football in the red zone because they're successful, and passing the football in the red zone, they really dip down, and that's where our defense can really take advantage because but the thing is, our pass defense in the red zone hasn't been that good. Again, we only have a 44% successful play rate as a defense in the red zone against the pass. That's not good. We're actually better against the run. We're actually, for as bad as our run defense is, it's actually 10th best in the NFL in terms of successful play rate against opposing runs in the red zone. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out and what it comes down to. So just some analytics in there to show you guys what's going on. It's kind of crazy. So when you start looking into red zone defenses and everything like that. All right. So let's get out of the team rankings and let's get the offensive keys to victory for your Miami Dolphins. All right. So number 1 is sustain drives and limit 3 and outs. Listen, since the Raiders game, the Dolphins defense has been on the field for 37 plus minutes each game. That number needs to come down significantly. The reason why the leaks are showing and the cracks are bursting is because you're hanging them out to dry with too many 3 and outs. It's time to mix in the run accordingly and sustain drives and limit 3 and outs. We need to be offensively creative and we need to commit to the run. It's time to start winning the battle of possession. Time of possession. All right. Expose one of the worst coverage defenses in the NFL right now. I mean, I think they have the 4th worst PFF grade in terms of coverage. But I mean, guys, you look at them and their secondary right now. CJ Henderson, who was actually struggling after that first go round last year, he kind of he's not there anymore. So Andrew Wingard, the safety, has been probably their best player, but like Rashawn Jenkins, why am I worried about a guy named Rashawn Jenkins? You go look at Shaquille Griffin, you know, Tyson Campbell. They don't really have a really good secondary. You know what I mean? When you start going out into the boundary and stuff, like Chris Claybrooks, yeah, they're just not very good when you start going into the secondary. It's just literally a bunch of Jags, just another guy, right? So expose them. Start, you know, be creative, rub routes, crossers, create conflict at the second level. You know what I mean? At the line with the linebackers and stuff like that, and coverage and the safeties, start creating some conflict out there and getting guys into space. Expose their coverage defense right now. And above all else, the number 3 key, protect Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, do we even need to go into this? Jacoby Brissett took a nasty hit from Vita Vea this past weekend. A nasty hit that was not a pretty sight. And that was because Shaq Barrett absolutely manhandled Jesse Davis. So do your job. Hold your blocks. Win in the trenches. Protect your quarterback. Show some pride in your job and what you do and being an NFL player, okay? Let's go. You guys have started to get better as they've gone to this more progression read based offense. Continue that trend upwards. Please, for everything holy. All right, and then the second set of keys for the defense. Real simple here. Force the game into Lawrence's hands and create turnovers. Okay, listen. Right now, Trevor Lawrence, guys, has 8 interceptions. Now, he is throwing the ball in harm's way a lot. Make him pay. This is a chance, even with X out, even with Byron back, even with Byron shook up right now and with a nagging injury, this is your chance to get back and get on the right track against this offense. He's been sacked 8 times. He's thrown 8 picks. You should be able to generate pressure. You should be able to confuse him with looks and coverages. He has one game this season where he did not throw a pick, and that's against Cincinnati. If Houston got 3 picks on him, if Denver got 2 picks, if Arizona got 2 picks, you should be able to get picks even with Needham and Byron Jones. Javon Holland, make a play. So, he will have turnover worthy plays. He has a turnover worthy play of 5.2% right now. And he has 11 turnover worthy plays in 5 games. So they're going to present themselves. He's averaging a little bit over 2 a game right now. So they're going to present themselves, make him pay. And that's just passing the football. He has 2 fumbles as well if you go back to the Arizona game. So, I mean, the guy will turn the ball over, make him pay. Remind him he's a rookie, make him not want to lace up against you again. And number 2 should be obvious. Contain James Robinson. Again, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. Now he has fumbled the ball twice, but his after contact numbers are ridiculous. Last week against Tennessee, he had 126 yards after contact alone. So, I mean, 387 yards in 5 games. Like, he is going to be an integral part of their offense. He can also catch the football. Now he's been shut down the last 2 weeks, but before he shut down against Arizona, he had 46 yards catching. He averages about 6.3 yards per reception, 14 receptions for 88 yards, so he can catch the football as well. So James Robinson is threat number 1 for our defense to contain, and I think Trevor Lawrence, the opportunities are going to arise for and present themselves for our defense to create turnovers off of him. And then number 3, limit third down conversions. I'm going to say this every week. Don't be the 32nd ranked defense you are on third down that you have been lately. It's time to get out there and get it on. It's like, I don't want to see the Jaguars putting 3rd and 15s and 3rd and 13s and 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 8s and consistently be converting against us. This is unacceptable. And I'm getting out ahead before it happens. limit third down conversions. I'm not trying to see it. I'm not trying to see it. There will be no excuses for me if that happens. This is a team that our defense should be getting back on track against. Inexcusable. So, again, limit third down conversions, contain James Robinson, and force the game into Trevor Lawrence's hands, and create turnovers. That's where I'm at. All right. Let's get into my in-game matchup to watch. And you know what? It's a rematch of the national championship, so let's have some fun with it. My matchup to watch is quite simple. It is and should be for everyone. Trevor Lawrence versus Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, let's start looking into it here right now. Um, this is redemption in a way for Tua. Yes, this isn't a playoff game, et cetera, et cetera. I get all that, but the fact of the matter is, um, um, the fact of the matter is that this is a way for him to get some redemption here. This is because I want people to really think about this for a second. If you look at these guys through the first 5 games right now, okay, let's break it down. All right, through the first 5 games right now, Trevor Lawrence has 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,146 yards. He has a 59 completion percentage, and he's 0-5 in his first 5 games. Tua Tagovailoa in his first 5 games, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 889 yards, 62 completion percentage, 4-1 in his first 5 games. So why isn't Trevor Lawrence getting all this hate? Why is just Tua getting all this hate? Someone make this make sense. I need someone to make this make sense for me right now. And, I said this to someone earlier today. This is the perfect opportunity for Tua to turn around the narrative right now. And even though it's because of, you know, the Dolphins not coming to his defense, whatever you want to say it is, the narrative out there has been it's Tua's fault. Well, since Tua's been out, this team hasn't been able to win. This team's been exposed that Tua's masking a lot of problems offensively, and we have a lot more problems on the quarterback right now. If he can come back and win with what he has in front of him against a guy who everyone deemed the great white hope in the next coming or whatever in terms of Trevor Lawrence, and he can go out there and he can beat Trevor Lawrence, he's only going to help the narrative in his favor. This is a big game for Tua Tagovailoa in terms of the narrative. He can rewrite that narrative. So, going to be interesting to see, because whoever does more for their team's offense is going to win. That's what this also comes down to. Whoever does more for their team's offense is going to win. Let's keep it a buck right now. That's literally just a fact. I'm sorry, that's just literally a fact. And The exciting thing about me is, I want to see both these guys sling that rock. I want to see both of those guys sling that rock, but I know but at the same time, I don't want to see Tua be throwing 35, 30, 40 times. Tua should be throwing between 20 to 26 times at max this Sunday. We should not be coming back in and having to lean on him to throw 45 times to potentially beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. If that's what happens, this team has a ton of issues that we need to seriously have a discussion about. I'm just saying. Let's be honest here. And I know a lot of people are worried. I think you're going to get a level of the Tua you saw against as much as he can at the current status he's at with his ribs. I think you're going to see the Tua that competitive spirit that came out against Kyler. You think that's not about to come out against Trevor Lawrence right now? I really don't think. Now, do I sit here and expect 500 yards and 8 touchdowns? No, that's not realistic. I'm hoping for like 2 tubs. I'm hoping for 250 plus yards. Um, you know, I'm not hoping for this guy to come out and it wouldn't be fair for us and his to just heap on, oh, you got to do this, oh, you got to do that when he's returning. Like, you need to run the football. You need to call good plays. You need to have play designs where receivers aren't congesting each other, but instead they're rubbing out defenders. All right. So offensively, we need to do a lot to ensure Tua and the Dolphins win this weekend. It's not going to come down to one man, but again, just for everyone, for your eyes to see, through first 5 games, Trevor Lawrence, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,146 yards, 59 completion percentage, 0-5. Tua Tagovailoa, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 889 yards, 62 completion percentage, 4-1 in his first 5 games. And just because everyone is probably going to ask, um, Trevor Lawrence had more attempts. He already has 175. He had more attempts through the first 5 games than Tua Tagovailoa did. In case people are going to ask. But Tua's a bust, right? Tell me again how Tua's a bust. So I'm saying, literally, other than Herbert, no quarterback got back in the last 2 classes is blowing Tua out of the water here. Burrow isn't blowing me away. And no, Deshaun Watson, you're not even spelling his name right, but Deshaun Watson would not be able to fix these problems. If you think a quarterback fixes these problems, you haven't been watching, or you have been watching and you don't know what you're watching. Because there's a lot more going on than the quarterback position right now. We have one of the worst offensive line rankings just came out yesterday. We're the 32nd ranked offensive line in the NFL. Watson ain't fixing that. We don't even have a Tunsil right now. They have a Tunsil. Give me a break. Like, this is ridiculous. You got infighting going on right now about play calling and who the play caller is between the coaching staff. There's a lot going on. You got bad play designs. I break down the all 22. When I'm sitting here and I am ripping the play designs apart, that's an issue. That should never be happening. I didn't even do that under Gailey last year, when I broke down every drop back Tua Tagovailoa had. And it's not about the defense giving up. It's the defense has been on the field for 37 plus minutes a game since the Raiders game. You're going to get winded. You're going to get tired. And they're banged up. Xavier Howard is nursing a groin injury. He can't be left in the slot handling Antonio Brown. He's not a slot corner to begin with. Why is he in the slot taking this guy on rub routes and conflict routes? Like there's a lot of issues right now with this team right now. It's not one person, and one person will not fix this team. So anyways, I got an article I want to go over, but before we go over that article, my prediction, the Dolphins will get back to winning. I have them winning 24-10, and I have that touchdown the Jaguars get being a rushing touchdown. So I have the Dolphins getting back in the winning column 24-10, double-digit win to his first game back. Let's go. Let's go get that W. Let's take care of business and then go have a spotted tea. So I have the Dolphins winning this game, getting back to their winning ways, 24-10 over the Jaguars. All right. Now, finally, before I get out of here, shout out to Ian Wharton. I want to read his article for you guys. It's really eye-opening. I've been telling y'all the narrative has been changing because people are seeing that it isn't Tua's fault of what's going on right now. So let's get into this. So the Miami Dolphins seem to have quickened their rebuild process as they emerged as a playoff contender in 2020. Winning 10 games despite rotating quarterbacks and a clear lack of offensive playmaking. The Finns invested heavily into the receiver position and fully committed to Tua Tagovailoa in hopes the changes would take the team to the next level. However, 5 games into the 2021 season, the offseason hype has completely died. Miami sits at 1-4, and every metric for the team is pointing towards a disastrous campaign. Tua has missed the last 3 games, but neither he nor Jacoby Brissett has been able to find a rhythm in the new offense. The team has the second fewest points scored and the third most points allowed on the season. Look at a misuse of assets. Where have you heard that before, everyone? The complete regression to 2019 levels is mind-boggling considering the assets the team has spent over the last 2 offseasons investing in Byron Jones, Will Fuller, Noah Igbenogany, Calvin Oy, Shaq Lawson, and Eric Flowers had virtually zero impact. Igbenogany had been the worst first-round pick for the franchise in many years, while Van Noy and Lawson were shipped off next to nothing this past offseason. Flowers was nothing special for Miami and then was traded to Washington to save cap room. But he would have been an upgrade on the current guard situation. He's playing just fine elsewhere. Jones was good last year, but this season he has struggled, much like the rest of the defense, because he, like Howard, is injured. And the team knew Fuller was a gamble as far as availability. The big questions about Tua's future, Brian Flores' ability to build a staff, and general manager Chris Grier's ability to draft all still remain. I was a fan of the talent Miami has acquired in the first round of the last 2 years, but the success of Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Phillips may not be enough for Grier to keep his job. Miami boldly traded down in the 2021 draft and then traded right back up. This ensured they'd lose out on both Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase, but would land Waddle. They paid a heavy price by giving up their own 2022 first-round pick to swap with Philadelphia. That pick is now projected to be a top 3 selection, and Chase is on pace to be a Pro Bowler. Justin Herbert's emergence as an all-pro caliber passer in Los Angeles is surprising. I watched every snap of his at Oregon and every snap of Tua at Alabama and never thought Herbert was a better playmaker or a more instinctual player. Certainly, Herbert has benefited from 2 quality offensive coaching staffs and surrounding playmakers, but he's been a massively different player than he was in college. I have a lot of hope for Tua as well, but his success has clearly been more affected by the disastrous hiring on offensive coordinator and mishandling of the offensive line by the team. His latest rib injury may just be the sign of the damage he'll incur as he runs for his life each week. Miami needs Tagovailoa to become a top 5 AFC quarterback. And if they doubt his ability to reach that level, then they must explore other options. For now, Miami is relying on a strange setup that was doomed to fail from the start, with co-offensive coordinators George Gotti and Eric Stidsville splitting duties, and Charlie Fry factoring into the play calling. If you want an update on that, go check my Patreon out, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. I give an update on the play calling status. Instead of hiring a proven coordinator who had experience getting the most out of a quarterback, Flores settled on this combination. The result has been ugly. Waddle is basically getting handoffs and hasn't been a downfield threat, and Mike Gesicki has barely been visible all year. The running game with Myles Gaskin has been efficient but lacks volume because drives aren't being extended. The lack of cohesive, thoughtful play calling immediately stands out for the Dolphins. Maybe it all doesn't fall on this bizarre trifecta of offensive coaches. Grier has had some impressive hits, notably landing Tunsil, Howard, Fitzpatrick, Gesicki, and Baker. But the two best players of that bunch aren't in Miami anymore. Grier's 2017 and 2019 classes brought zero impactful starters, and his 2020 class is solely dependent on Tua's career and the prayer that the offensive line improves. The current offensive line is terrible, and much of the discussion around Tua mirrors what the Dolphins went through with Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill was a good quarterback who made most out of a tough situation. Tagovailoa is more talented than Tannehill, but still needs help in the form of competent blocking and coaching. Yet his career was immediately put on the same path as the man he was drafted to replace, despite the mistakes that were being made were so clear. When Tua returns this week against the Jaguars, the Dolphins must show a more aggressive and competent offense. Flores earned trust last year from the fans and ownership for overperforming, but that goodwill only goes so far when the hype hasn't all been met. The defense has been another massive flop. Regression was expected considering Miami led the NFL in turnovers, but not to the point where the unit was hemorrhaging yards and scores through the air and on the ground. There's enough solid talent and playmaking to have a strong base each week, even if there are weaknesses along the unit. Instead of showing the creativity of last year to overcome those weaknesses, Miami has tried to line up and win more often than not. That won't work because the Dolphins' personnel has limitations that strong teams can easily exploit. Flores hasn't adjusted yet, and it's cost Miami embarrassing losses to the Buffalo Bills and Tampa Bay Buccaneers in particular. The hope is that Tua's return will spark some magic in Miami. The organization as a whole cannot feel this way, though, because one player will not single-handedly make the offensive line competent, the play calling aggressive, or the defense effective. This has been a failure from top down. It's time for the leadership of Miami to look in the mirror and fight for the jobs before it's too late and another regime change is in the works. I think that's a fantastic article that lays out everything. I mean, show me the lie there. Show me where the lie is. And the crazy thing is, if Tua comes back and wins, all he's doing is masking the inevitable that there are holes on this team that need to be fixed, and there's coaching staff problems and front office problems that need to be fixed. All you'd be doing is masking it. But now do you see? The media is now starting to pick up on on the things that we've been banging the drum on over here. The narrative is starting to change, and it's all because everything has been exposed since Tua has been gone. And the irony that these guys wanted to run Tua out in the summer, and now it might be on Tua to save their jobs and their asses. The irony is amazing. So, I mean, show me the lie in that whole article. There's not one. And basically what he tells you right there is no one player is going to create a competent offensive line, better play calling, and better coaching. No one's fixing this except what's already in house. Anyways, let's open it up to you guys. I want to get you guys predictions and what you think is going to go down on Sunday, bright and early against we already got one win in New England. Can the Dolphins go and get a win in Old England? We'll see. But it's we're all gonna be up bright and early, and I'll be going live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be absolutely an early one for your boy. All right, let's open it up. We got a couple people coming backstage. Mark Logan on his way home from work. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Am I right? Are you on your way home from work?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've been working like crazy. I
You
gotta
gotta
work during the game too. So
oh, you gotta get those Mickey Mouse bucks, bro.
yeah, right.
Those Disney dollars.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction?
Definitely Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna win like 31 to like 21. I think they're gonna score a lot of points on us because I don't really trust our defense, but I think we're gonna get like, I think we're gonna score over 30 points in this game. That's what I believe.
And
As long as
thinks we're gonna win 35-7, so he agrees with you that we're gonna score over 30 points.
Well, as long as they don't go back to that RPO crap and they just go through that more progressive read offense like they did with Brissett, I think Tua can do it a lot better. But if they go back to like, that conservative RPO, offensive line can't block, then we're in trouble. But we'll see.
CT, what do you think's gonna go down? What's your prediction for this Sunday?
Pyro would be proud. I think it's going to be 24-20 Dolphins. I think it's going to be ugly. I think that we squeak out a win, but we really have to put more into the running game this week, especially knowing Tua's still got some lingering pain and whatnot. You got to give him every opportunity. He's going to have some rust, but I don't see us winning big. I see us stumbling to a win, and not because of Tua, but because of our defense.
Florida born, what do you got? What do you got going on for this weekend? Who do you think wins and by how much?
31-14 Dolphins. It's going to be a slow start. Then Tua's going to shake off the ring rust and light it up, baby. King Tua is back, and fuck all you haters, because you all about to see what the Samoan sniper is going to do.
Well, listen to this guy. He's going off.
Good times.
Dylan, tell us about how we're going to lose this weekend.
No, I'm giving him a chance, bro. But I do think it is going to be a tight one. It's going to be pretty low scoring in my mind, 20-17 Dolphins.
All right, Pyro, you tell us about how we're going to lose this weekend.
Oh, shit.
It's easy for us to blow this shit. We're going to get ran over in the running game. The offensive line can't block for shit, so they're gonna get a couple sacks here and there. So and then it's gonna rejuvenize the Jacksonville defense, and they're just gonna play lights out from there. And I got a prediction of 40-10. It's gonna be.
Haven't they lost like 20 games in a row?
Wow.
Yeah. You're calling the Jags 40-10.
They've lost 20 games in a row, but yet they're gonna beat us.
I'm just saying they're gonna get right. They're gonna get right against us.
Yo,
it's gonna be crazy, man.
Bro, if we lost 41-10, no one's getting on the plane back to Miami, bro.
20 games.
Stephen Ross is going out and finding Falco, fucking Keanu Reeves, and hiring replacements, bro.
Whatever it takes.
I mean, bro, the only way I could see that happening is if
There's
the
no
entire
way.
team quit. Like the team would have to quit.
The whole team gets COVID, and the English soccer team has to play for them. Like that's what
something like that.
I didn't get to read the Patreon, the thing that you just sent out. But so has Godsey been calling plays?
So
or what? Because last time Tua and Godsey linked up,
it was the Patreon. Okay,
they just changed that. Like
so basically, what happened is Godsey threw Fry under the bus. And as the reason why, up until the Colts game, why everything wasn't going right, and now he has full control because basically, from what I understand, he was calling in 2 plays to Fry. Fry would relay one of them to Tua, and then you go from there. And now he's just taken on full, and he said basically Fry was picking the wrong plays and stuff like that.
So a lot of finger pointing on the
Yeah,
inside.
exactly.
Finger pointing.
They're being fucking babies about it.
Okay.
But it makes
Whatever.
no sense.
Okay.
But it makes no sense on the whole thing of them saying again that they've all been working on the game plan together. They've been going through plays that they want to run and what. So I get it. I mean, yeah, there are certain situational things you may call the wrong play, but this is your scheme. This is all 3 of y'all scheme.
Yeah.
So it stop pointing fingers at each other and just man the fuck up and say, look, we just haven't been doing it.
This
You
is
know
what
what I mean?
happens, though,
Stop
bro.
pointing the freaking
This is what
finger.
happens. This is what happens when you put a shit product out on the field, and especially with egotistical people.
Dude, listen, what happens when there's a natural disaster and the sewers start getting flooded? All the rats start scurrying, bro. All the rats start scurrying out, and it's every man for themselves, bro. Don't you see what's already happening? If you actually go read my Patreon, that should be your takeaway from the Godsey and the coaching staff stuff going on right now is it's turning into every man for himself type of stuff.
Yeah,
because
bro.
some of them believe Flores ain't even going to be back next year the way things are going. So they're like, save my ass.
Bro,
So,
the first one was made so much sense with the X and Flores thing. That shit made so much sense, bro.
Shout out to British Finn fan because he just joined. He just joined and
representing.
add some British class to this panel.
Love British Finn
None of us
fan.
got any.
Yeah, humor.
Hey guys, yeah, we've got the Finns coming to my backyard on Sunday. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
What time is that game for you guys?
Well,
Jeez, Pyro. Come on.
2:30.
Instead of soccer hooligans, you need the Dolphin hooligans.
Well, it sucks because they get 2 of the worst teams in the league right now, the Dolphins and the Jags. I'm sorry for
But
you,
you know
bro.
what the thing is? With the way both defenses are playing, it would be amazing if you got a Tua versus Lawrence shootout. That would be
awesome.
epic.
Rematch of the national
Perhaps,
championship.
yeah.
Like that would be awesome. That would be awesome if we get a shootout between them, even if we take the L, then I can at least blame the defense and not Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
And
be
hopefully that'll
interesting.
get rid of Flo so we don't have to keep doing this bullshit.
I'm so sorry, man. You have to deal with this team.
The thing is, who are you going to promote in house? Who are you going to promote? Boyer?
I think that my strategy, and Dylan, we talked about it a little backstage before. My thing is I like the special teams. Crossman, he's the assistant head coach. And the reason I like that philosophy is history has shown that head coaches that have special team backgrounds and started in as a special teams coordinator do very well. And on top of that, essentially, again, you're getting whatever the offense and the defense can give you that they're willing to give you, and you got to make the best of it. And I think that should be an overall team philosophy. It shouldn't just be on the special teams. That should be an overall team philosophy.
Man,
I'd rather see him fail than continue to watch Flo fail because it's terrible.
I want an Eric Spoelstra, Gruden type. Well, that's kind of bad with Gruden with going on, but a film guru, just one of them guys that was in the back doing film study constantly, bro.
That's
the grinders.
Careful with the ties. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I get people's frustration. I've been on record as saying I was never really a big Flores fan to begin with, but at the same time, it doesn't really do anything for us other than satisfy our feelings and emotions if he were to get fired. It doesn't help the team at all.
The problem is you're running into a schedule now where you can mask coaching and offensive deficiencies. Dude, the Falcons and the Jaguars are not good teams.
Texans when we get there.
Yeah, but you could be 3-4 heading in to the Bills game, and everyone's hopes are going to be back up through the roof without realizing that we just beat 2 crappy teams.
I'm not falling for that hype again. Not
But here's
falling
the
for that.
thing.
Yeah,
You
but
gonna
you
fall
got,
for it.
Bills.
You gonna
you
fall
got to
for
keep
it.
it in context.
I'm down for
sure,
that,
but-
Ernesto. Let's go. Now, if they come out and they beat these teams like 56-0 and 45-0,
Yeah,
then
that'd be
okay.
awesome.
I got
Yeah.
reason to be hyped. But if they're
Yeah.
squeaking out victories here at like 24-20, 23-21, then no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't that be
it's all
awesome
about
to
the
get
context, man. It's all
Pep
about the
Hamilton as the head coach?
I would take Pep over
what we got.
Florida now. Like
Bro, after
Yeah.
pointing that out and him being over there with Houston and what he's doing with
Davis
Davis
Mills.
Mills, what he did
Yeah.
with Herbert, like that guy.
dude, people don't realize, like, yes, all of Herbert's staff got fired last year, but offensively they were still a good staff. It's just defensively they were a disaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now look at you got a defensive coach in Staley. Look at his understanding of the offensive side of the football. I wish.
I was I must have been like a glutton for punishment today. I was watching the NFL What If videos, and it was what if Drew Brees had signed for Miami instead of Dante Culpepper. It was Dave Damashek, and he was doing this video about if the Finns had signed Drew Brees and how it would have reshaped the AFC.
Haven't you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that Sports Illustrated cover?
Yeah, man, it's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, that Sports Illustrated cover is probably one of the most depressing covers I've ever seen in my life.
Organizational leadership failures, bro.
But it's like at the same point, even if we drafted a Herbert last year and Rashawn Slater or Penei Sewell this year too, do you even trust this staff and everyone to even get the most out of them?
Well, no,
Hell no.
that's why. Yeah, it starts at the top. And I mean, like, you got to have the right philosophies and the right core principles to work off of. And that's one of the reasons why I wasn't high on Flores, because it was clear from early on all he was going to try and do is replicate the Patriots. And if I'm keeping it honest, as much as they have a bunch of championships and shit, I'm not really excited about trying to replicate their system here. Especially because it doesn't work.
Well,
like
they have
anytime a
a-
coach tries it. So
I'm not really high on it.
why-
I'm not really high on Byron Leftwich, Jabari.
But that's why I said earlier, I'd rather, if we're going to do it, I'd rather just lose this game to Jacksonville, get Flo out of here, and then let Tua ball out, because I'm not going to sit here and have Tua ball out and fucking bail Flores and his idiot buddies out and then have to do this shit all over again next year.
CT, I like it.
yeah. I mean, that's the problem though with double-edged swords, is they cut on both sides of it. Like it's a shitty situation to be in.
To me, it feels like we're treating Tua like David Carr, and we're like a friend. And he's just sat behind such a shitty line that he's just going to get killed every week because they're just being incompetent in the draft picks and ignoring offensive linemen in free agency like Tunney and Hudson and one or two others. Lindsley, yeah, and
Yeah, and that's why it's frustrating because they've done this to two quarterbacks now. You didn't learn from the first time of screwing a quarterback up?
Well, it's okay.
But now let's just do it again.
That's why Grier doesn't have an excuse, right? Flores can say, I wasn't here. Grier, you can't say that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
We paid Baker, guys. It's okay.
Jesus.
Bro, arguably our worst defender right now.
Fucking garbage, bro. Dude looks like a deer in headlights.
This is what they do, man. This is what they do. Dolphins do Dolphins things.
Hey, is Noah going to be a healthy scratch? Is he going to be a healthy inactive with Excel?
Bro, if he's inactive this week,
well, you might as well just cut him.
Think how bad you have to be, because even Deion Jordan was active.
No, think of how bad you have to be. Look at how bad Justin Coleman's been this season, and you still haven't been able to leap him.
I would say with the injury situation, you would think logically he's at least going to be active.
Like Dallas Thomas was horrible, and he was active on the team. He actually started. Like, how
shout out to Sugar Lynn Fernandez for the $5 sticker. Appreciate
Sugar
you.
Lynn. I like that name.
That's a very unique name, and that's a pretty amazing name. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Sugar Lynn.
Sugarland Van.
Very sweet of you. Thank you.
So how many of us are thinking that we
that
should
was
have
corny.
actually
Cheesy pun.
Yeah, that
we
was
should-
corny.
we should have actually traded X and not given him a new contract?
Yeah, especially the way he's been playing.
But man,
Yeah.
is it X or is it the fucking coach thing? Like
Nah,
with
I think
veterans,
it's
bro.
X's mentality, man.
He
doesn't.
like
he
kinda
doesn't wanna
like
Chief
what he
play.
Firm
said.
says Brady was the Pat system, and he endorses Doug Peterson as our next head coach.
I mean, look, Howard definitely deserves some blame for sure. He can't get off scot-free, but there's been a lot of bad coaching. He has gotten injured, which I do believe is in large part because he's been forced to be on the field so damn much. Like, it's not all his fault.
It's for like, fuck this guy.
Well, think
Why am
about
I gonna
this.
kill
He
myself for
definitely-
this
he
guy?
definitely
Think
is
about
not
this.
bought in.
You
He's
got a
definitely not
groin. You
bought
got a groin injury. They're not giving you any help over the top, and
then
they're
they
feeding you in the
expose you.
slot against Antonio Brown, who's at full health. That's not your job. Your
Yeah,
slot
that's-
corner is supposed to be taking him on the. It's not his job to fight through crossers and stuff like that. Like, he's not
And-
a slot corner right now. And the thing is, they knew he was
Especially
hurt
with
on
a
top of
groin.
that, so
Yeah.
you know he's going to get exposed playing in
And
the
Reese-
slot against Antonio Brown with a groin injury. That's
Yeah.
flipping your hips and mirroring a guy with a groin injury. That's tough to do.
that's
Wasn't that
Yeah,
one
I
of the
agree with
things
that.
X said? Wasn't that one of the things X said he wasn't going to do this year? He wasn't going to play. You know, he wanted to play his area. He wasn't going to move and
Well, that was before the
follow
extension,
people.
right?
Before
they
the
gave him the money.
extension.
Before they
Yeah,
gave him the money.
Yeah, but the thing
And
is,
then look what they had to ask him to do last week, right? Look at how he was. Yeah, was it last week? No, which
Against the
week was it?
Colts.
Yeah, they had him traveling one of those weeks.
yeah. But
Yeah.
my
They had him
thing
traveling
is
against
even
Diggs, and he's traveled a ton.
yeah, but even before his injury in the first few weeks, he was having absolute mental errors. He knocks his receiver down, which is great, but then you run away from him. The dude stands up,
Yeah,
runs
Stephon
5 feet,
Diggs.
and gets a touchdown.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it's not simply just coaching. I honestly think X got his money. He's like, I'm gonna play, but I'm not gonna kill myself for this team when I had to fight
Yeah.
you to get me to pay me.
All I'll say
And
is
so,
this. All I'll say
You know
is
what I
this.
mean?
All I'll say is this. It's not the team. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
the team. He loves all the guys. And he loves.
Yeah.
It's not the team. He's not willing to fight for, bro.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
that's the
agree.
thing. That's the thing, though, too, is like I believe that the loss of locker room and confidence in their head coach has a lot to do with what
It's
we're seeing
big.
overall, not just with X, but overall. Like where we're
Absolutely.
seeing
Dude,
a lot
I
of
heard
regression.
I heard because his injury, right? So he's battling Antonio Brown's injury. They don't give him any help, right? And this week, when they were doing the film studies, the film sessions, they were picking on him.
Oh
and that's-
yeah,
They were
fucking-
pointing him out, and Byron Jones is out here getting
Give him
passes,
Mhm.
and
because that's
Byron
Flo's
Jones
boy.
is clearly flavored. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not sitting well
Yeah,
with
fuck that. Yeah,
X right now.
Yeah, I
bro,
wouldn't. It
I'm
wouldn't with
telling
me either.
That's crazy though, because when you're a coach, bro,
Dylan
it's
says
kind of like
Galu for head coach.
it's kind of like being a parent, bro.
Hey,
You
probably
can't
will be a good
pick
coach.
favorites.
Can't play
You
favorites,
can't.
no.
Yeah.
But every coach has their favorites, though.
I
Right?
get
That's
that,
the
and
problem.
if you have a favorite, you at least don't let the fucking team know.
You don't
bro.
let it be obvious. You don't
There,
let
yeah,
it be
there
obvious.
are ways to navigate it, but he's
Bro, I don't know how
he's
you're a
so
defensive backs coach and X isn't your favorite.
right.
Take the
Yeah.
player,
Yeah,
take the
exactly.
person, take the person out of the evaluation.
Cause, bro,
How the
he's-
hell? Like,
telling you, man.
it's because
Yeah.
he can't.
He
Flores
can't.
cannot take the person out of the evaluation. That's the
mean,
problem, bro.
I'm holding
Byron
back
Jones
from
is
calling him a clown,
Byron
but-
Jones is a yes sir, head down, nod your head,
and that's
do
why
what you-
because he's a vet and because he's
and he got
because he's-
paid. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like,
Right.
Yeah, well, and,
That's
and
it.
he requested a trade, so he's clearly not just gonna lay down and take it, right?
Yeah.
X is not that dude. So, but Byron is, bro, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty telling. Like this coach we got is
and a lot of
clown, I'm just gonna
rookies
say
are
it,
like
fuck it.
that. It's when they get on their second contract
right?
and they're paid and they understand the business side of it that they all of a sudden say, no, there's a little bit of investment for themselves now, right?
And
Rightfully
that's
so,
why-
right?
Yeah, and that's why the leadership on this team is like non-existent, and why he shipped all those guys out. It has a large part to do.
Yeah,
with all
because
that.
we've always known, we all up here love X. X is not a leader, bro. Like,
No.
you know, like he's maybe a leader in the corner room because of what he did with Noah, but he's not leading the whole defense, bro.
Not a
Even
vocal
Jerome
leader.
Baker,
Yeah.
even Jerome Baker doesn't come off as a leader. He comes off as a class clown.
Yeah.
That's
And
what we're
then- and
missing
Christian
with
Wilkins-
Kyle Van Noy.
Christian Wilkins comes off as a class clown too. Like
Yes.
the only guys I see potential leadership qualities coming out of
Raekwon.
are Raekwon and Noah and Raekwon and
Holland.
Raekwon. I don't know about Holland.
Phillips.
Raekwon,
Rowe is a leader.
Raekwon, Rowe, and Ogba. Those are the only
Yeah.
guys I think might be actual. And Ogba
Yeah, I
looks like
get
the
you.
type where he just puts his head down, goes to work, and he leads by example.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, because part of what there's different kinds of leadership, obviously, right? But part of what we're talking about is like the vocal leaders that are going to like bark at people and put them
Ray
in the
Lewis,
right places
those type
and
of
stuff
guys.
like that.
Like, I'm not looking for like
bullshit.
generational leader Ray Lewis, but I mean
Right.
like Ray Lewis was. You know,
Well-
Zach Thomas was clearly the leader of our defense at one point, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But and so it actually, if it makes sense,
Usually it needs to be a linebacker, to be honest.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
you.
But
You know, Luke Kuechly, Miles
that
Jack's the
dog.
leader for them.
yeah.
You know, usually it's the linebacker where you find that leader and that quarterback.
the Mike or somebody. But yeah, but that's the thing. That's why, like, when you see these guys on the sideline joking around when they're getting their asses handed to them and stuff, it actually makes sense in part because the leaders, the vocal leaders on this team are guys like Christian Wilkins and Baker, who are the kind of class
That's a great
clowns.
point.
So the guys who are usually in people's ear, they're just joking around and having a good time, and that's what they think is acceptable.
Yeah, but the coaches, that's where our O-line coach is a pussy. Because I'm sorry, I'm walking over there and going,
But
why
if
are
I
you
saw
laughing?
Kinley and
You're
Jackson
getting your ass
laughing,
kicked. Why are
No.
you laughing?
Jackson would be coming off the field if I saw for the rest of the game if I saw that.
Well, the coaching staff isn't helping anything by any stretch of the imagination. They're just letting it go on. So yes, that they get their blame too. But
Nah,
just
in
from
that
the leadership
picture,
standpoint, it makes sense in that regard. That's why.
But
that's
in
what
that
we're seeing.
picture, the O-line coach is right there laughing with them.
yeah,
In that picture, the
not
O-line coach himself is laughing with them.
and that's
I'm
why
like, are you
these young
serious?
guys. That's why these young guys think it's acceptable because their vocal leaders on the team are doing it, and then their coaches are not stopping it. They're just like, yeah, let's fuck around and have a good time. We suck, but hey, we're gonna laugh about it. Okay, well, you can suck your way right off the fucking team then.
Yeah, I mean, and the more I think
Damn,
about
buddy.
it, the
I'm
more I
just saying.
think that
Tell us
If
how
you-
you really feel.
You
Well, I've been
Go ahead.
letting
Yeah, no, go
those
ahead.
demons out, man.
No, I'm gonna let English Dolphin go.
no, I was just going to say that when you think about it, guys, if you're going to do a full-on tear-down rebuild operation, do you give it to a rookie coach or do you want some experience in there to do this, like a Bill Parcells type character and an Ozzie Newsome sort of guy?
Experience.
You want experience, don't you? And I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but giving a full rebuild to a rookie coach from the Bill Belichick coaching tree, and we've seen how it's worked out with Matt Patricia and one or two others, it's very risky. And I think, we should have had some experience in there. We had some experience with Jim Caldwell, but he walked away from for health reasons, and then we're left with a lot of rookie coordinators, co-offensive coordinators, and that doesn't seem like it's the normal thing to do. And now we find ourselves in
I love this.
Terrible
Shout out to
mix,
Gene
bro.
Prinska. This regime doesn't like character issue guys, aka guys who aren't yes men.
Correct.
Yeah.
Same thing with the coaching staff.
And Ernesto, I say go after Sean Payton, give New Orleans a first, and
Wow.
let's do it right with Louis Riddick as a GM.
I mean, it couldn't be worse than what we got, and it's not.
That's
It's not.
Sam Coughlin right now.
It's actually relatively
Not bad, actually.
yeah.
I don't trust them to use that first round pick anyways, because I know Tyler Linderbaum will be sitting there and they won't take him.
Yeah.
And I'll take Joe Schmo from North Arkansas, cornerback. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life at all.
We got enough of that with Noah.
You know what I mean?
Hopefully, Ross is taking notes.
Fucking Noah, bro.
I don't know, bro.
Bro, that arc has sailed a long time ago on Noah.
Like where in their
That shit went
mind?
down
they
to the
think-
bottom of the
I
water,
was gonna
bro.
say he wasn't on it though.
Yeah. Animals went down. Noah went down. Ark went down with Noah on it, bro.
That motherfucker slipped and fell on his way to the ramp, and they just left without him.
He's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, that food ain't even get the animals on there.
That's funny.
Z-Man, Gen Z, what's up, boys?
What's good, y'all?
Nothing much. I'm at work right now, just trying to get over the fact that Flores is gonna be our coach. Flores is going to be our coach at the end of the year. I don't know if I should throw a funeral or a party. So maybe both.
Yo, I love it, man. I love it, Z-Man. You bring that
party.
good shit.
Yeah, I told you, I've been off.
Y'all are
the
gonna
Flores
turn this
thing.
into like a
I just
Brian
want
Flores hating channel. I'm
No,
not-
No,
It's more of like a swan song for him. You know, just like a little get together before the funeral. It's a
Speaking
viewing.
of songs, did you see Tobin's
It's a
Tua
wait.
song?
We having a wait.
I did.
Yes, I love
that song.
Tobin, bro.
Tobin
He's
is
I
dope,
haven't
man.
seen it.
He's a funny guy.
To come save our team.
The English, God
In the
Save
English
Our Queen.
accent.
I love it. Yeah, because it's God Save Our Queen. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Z-Man, Gen Z, you guys, we'll start with you, Z-Man. What's your prediction for this Sunday?
We gonna win. It should be 28-10.
Oh, Z-Man, come on now.
Nah, I
Woo,
mean,
28-10.
only-
That's a good one.
yeah. Then the only way we lose the game if we give the game away. That's the only way we can lose this game. Unless they really trying to give the game away, then
I mean,
if they
Gen
get
Z,
Flores
what do
out
you
of there,
think?
that's what they want to
there's
do.
ways.
I got 24-14 Dolphins, but man, I'm just so disappointed with the coaching staff and everything. I'm just hoping Tua shows that he can be a franchise quarterback going forward for whoever comes next year. If it's Brian Flores, I hope he get the ship right. But I mean, I'm just hoping for Tua to pull through so he can show. You know what I'm saying? First, I just want him to get the W over Lawrence. First and
Facts.
foremost.
I agree.
But other than that, I just want him to ball out. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel
Yeah.
like he can go on the stretch and get hot going into the to the Bills game and really, give us some sort of shot.
Yeah.
I don't think the players are playing for Flores. Honestly, I think they're playing for Tua. That's just me though.
Look at Gene coming with a lot of characters. You guys seem to be the best players when they respect who they're playing for. Look at Antonio Brown.
Facts. Man, that's a good one.
Gene, you need to print these out of a. You need to fax yourself these so they can come out of the machine behind you, because you spit nothing but facts right now, bro. It's real though. Like that's exactly what it is. I mean, you kind of remember that with Philbin, right? Anyone who was vocal, you're out of here. Goodbye. Yeah. And it's kind of like the same thing with this guy, and it's all ego, all pride. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. Some coaches are like that. I mean, Patricia was like that.
Jace was like that.
All McDaniels was like that. All the coaches from that lineage are pretty much like that.
Yeah,
except for Mike fucking Vrabel.
Vrabel. You know why?
Vrabel, yeah.
Former player, bro.
Yeah, he's a player.
Yeah.
Actually played the game at a high level.
Yep.
Played with Tom Brady under Belichick. So he knows how it felt to be a player under those people too.
Yep.
Rarity.
Yeah. He is the exception to the rule, and the rule says that they fucking suck when they leave Belichick.
Well, the Titans just lost the Jets, so
No, you know what the best thing is?
I think
the best thing is I want people to put perspective in this.
They have a top 10 defense, though. The Jets do, bro. Like
Brian Flores is
Brian
Flores is 8-17 with Jacoby Brissett or Ryan Fitzpatrick as a starter. Yet he's 7-3 when Tua starts and finishes out the whole game.
Oh, but that's not a quarterback stat. That's not a quarterback stat.
Sorry, my bad. I apologize.
No, I mean it's
because one of those losses and one of those wins.
It's all analytics. It's all analytics and it's all important.
But what I'm saying is, Tua as a starter has one less win in 11 starts if you want to count the Buffalo one
than Flores has with other quarterbacks. Yeah.
With
Yeah, in
3
like
years.
doubled the amount of starts.
Yeah.
It just sucks because everybody negates everything good that Tua does.
But he's the
You know, the
problem.
wins, this and that. Oh, that doesn't count. I'm so fucking
Well, and then the
sick
thing
of
is,
it, bro.
here's the
It's
thing. You look at
what Nick
Burrow.
said about the when he wins. Somebody's they're gonna place the blame on
Yeah,
or
someone else.
give him the
Yeah.
credit to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you look at Burrow and you look at Herbert, their coaching staffs last year were just like let her rip. We were like manage the game, don't turn the ball over. We need efficiency. We don't need you throwing the ball 40 times until
And
obviously
he did it perfect.
obviously until week 17 where we got blown out. But again, 11 plus drops that game, and he should have had over 500 yards if they would have been catching the football. Like, do you realize he's played one game this season and he's already the number one quarterback in terms of drop percentage against?
Yeah.
10%. He's the only quarterback in double digits. And Brissett is number 3, so it's not like
7.7.
It's not like it's some
seen a ton
anomaly that he only played one game. It's like we have the number 1 and number 3 quarterback with drops against right now percentage.
Well, that's been another big issue with this offense, man. Is we've seen a ton of drops. Like it's
but they upgraded it, Dylan. All the guys that are in the on IR and you got nurses massaging them. A shout out to you, Deshaun. Nurses massaging them right now to get right and get back on the field. I thought they're the upgrade, bro.
That's why we gotta purge these receivers. Purge them.
Right back.
I mean, hey, bro, I was.
And hold on. Wasn't Jalen Waddle the one that was apparently limping all through?
Right.
I was one of the ones saying y'all need, people. Well, not y'all, not you guys up here, because y'all were saying the same things. But people out in Dolphins world, man, you got to temper yourselves with these receivers, man. Yeah, on paper they look real good. But paper don't mean shit. Like,
bro, people were trying to tell me Jalen Waddle was going to get 1,000 yards. I kept telling people, bro, we haven't had an 884-yard plus receiver since Chris Chambers did in the early 2000s as a rookie. This is an anomaly. It's not like, and I didn't know they would know how to use them. I didn't know that.
God, Chris Chambers.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were that inept.
Yeah, that's
We said the same thing.
Like actually think about it. Like let's look at this. You have a Hummer in Gesicki, all right. You have a Ferrari in Jalen Waddle. You have, let's call it what it is, when he was used properly at Bama. You got a Porsche Tua, and you don't know how to utilize any of these guys' talents whatsoever right now. It's hilarious to me.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna give the wide receivers a little bit of credit because I mean they get open sometimes. I mean, but how many? And
then Brissett misses the read.
Yeah.
No, dude, exactly. I had someone say, "Oh, where's Walt Wilson? Where's Wilson?" Bro, I literally showed you against the Colts. Wilson got wide open on like a 25-yard dig, and he had a bunch of field ahead of him. And then he got open on a go route along the right sideline, and both reads were missed by Brissett. Those two throws, he would have had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Brissett, so when they use him and he gets open, they're not even making the read. But I mean, I say they, but it's really Brissett because we've seen more Brissett than Tua.
Yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, just real quick. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder to find things that this team is doing right than it is that things are going wrong.
Damn.
Across the board. Because like even with like Gaskin, right? He's actually performing well, getting 5 yards a clip, but then they don't run the ball. So it's like even the good things that they do, they find a way to negate, and it's like, well, that's fucking useless. So shoot yourselves.
Yeah, I think we see
especially when this last weekend with Gaskin, instead of letting him run, they just throw it.
Joel hasn't talked yet. What did you say, Joel?
I said, y'all think we see Trill Williams before we see Noah?
Hell yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't because I think they're going to push Needham out to the boundary, and they're going to want slot. And Noah's played slot at Auburn. I know they're giving him slot reps in the offseason, and I think him and Coleman will be your slot guys when you're against like doubles 2x2 formations and stuff like that.
So Byron Jones is playing. He'll be on the other boundary.
He's questionable. I think he's going to play though.
Yeah, he's limited. He was limited in practice and questionable.
Yeah, the question is how effective will he be with that Achilles injury? So,
and he's got another injury right now too.
Who's
what else?
He's been
because an Achilles.
He's got an Achilles and a
hamstring, ain't it?
Was it quad? Quad.
Oh shit! No.
And then
Forget it.
Preston's got the X. He got the X injury. He's got a groin issue. So Preston's gonna be. Dude, we are literally Jakeem Grant minus Jakeem Grant being in Chicago. We are getting down to the same weapons we had last year. Just add in Jalen Waddle.
That's what I said earlier.
They completely misused.
Fucking shit.
Like here we go, Matt Collins.
People,
I need Matt Collins' first 100-yard game on Sunday. This is where the levels we're getting to right now.
Yeah.
This is so bad.
The only two guys that we can realistically see, because again with Byron, with the Achilles, it's not a huge injury. If it's not torn, you can have soreness.
He's been on
they
the
can
injury.
handle that.
He's been on the injury report since like last year with that thing.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying though. Even if it's not fully torn, it can be nagging, but it's something that they can take care of with pain injections and whatnot. But when it comes to the quad situation, that's what's gonna kill us, man. That's what's gonna kill us if they let him play, because he can't run to catch up with people. And when you are on that back pedal and you want to drive on a ball, you have to use those quads to freaking engage quickly and drive on that ball. If you're not doing that, it's wide open underneath, and because you can't run, it's wide open over top.
Yeah,
it's a double-edged fuck you.
Hey, Reason, let me ask you this though: how come we haven't seen any zero blitzes this year?
I know. I agree.
No, that amoeba defense either.
Well, I think right now it's because the coverage isn't holding up as well, and I think right now, he's a better athlete and he's better sideline to sideline, but I think Javon Holland's knowledge of the offense, of the defense. Bobby McCain, you could trust more in terms of up here when you were doing those kind of things. Javon Holland, I don't know if they're ready to trust him with that right now, because really, remember with those zero blitzes, you're hanging the whole secondary out to dry, right?
Yeah.
Well, God, I wish we had Bobby instead of McCourty.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't like them getting rid of him. And one of the
they probably think the Phillips upgrade, they don't need to with the Phillips upgrade.
I mean, Phillips has been incredible, but like that zero blitz and the bailout is an easy pick. That's how Christian Wilkins got a pick. That's how Van Noy, you know what I mean? Like that's how these guys were getting interceptions and turnovers.
Yeah, that zero blitz had us in attack mode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot.
And they
It's a
had
lot.
But it was
quarterbacks.
also in the amoeba too, where you were confusing, especially the young quarterbacks.
Yes.
And
On
we
third
haven't
down.
done that at all this year. At all.
If you look too, and I just thought about this, and I don't know why we really hadn't even talked about it with this correlation, but that's one of the reasons why we were a lot better on third down on defense last year, because that's primarily when we employed that shit.
Gene,
and they didn't know
if
what
you ever
was
see the
coming.
link, I need to get you up here. Look at what Gene's dropping bombs tonight.
Dropping
Watson is a desperation move. They're willing to forsake their philosophy and future for the sake of winning now.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't say that, but
I'm talking about the wording he's using here. Look at this guy.
Dude,
No,
I need
forsake
some of that
their
growth
philosophy.
juice, man.
Look at this
he's
guy.
on fire for sure. But he's
Well,
right,
it does,
though.
because the core philosophy is that one thing they always stress about is their development of players, and
But that's why
that's giving up on the development of
And
players.
do you
Why
really
else
think Watson and Flores are going to get along? You think
Okay.
Watson's going to be a yes man?
You think
No.
Watson still wants to come here without the wheels are falling off right now?
I don't. I would hope not.
That's
I
why I
don't
hope
want him
Ross
here,
is
but-
smart enough not to trade for him when everything is done. When the season
I don't know,
over.
bro. Desperation.
Like that makes no sense. You're going to the offseason if you really want a top quarterback,
Bro,
because you're old.
I'm gonna tell you right
you're going
now.
away.
If I was Deshaun Watson, I would be asking to go to either Carolina because Sam Darnold's slipping a little bit, or I'd ask to go to Denver.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want the team in orange that's actually looks like they could do damage with you right now. We're in such shambles on both sides of the ball. Unless Watson is about to come out here and penetrate the pocket, rush the passer, stop the
him in
run,
Washington.
can give us better play at the second level on our defense, can help in coverage, and then he can come on the offense and he can block and he can stay healthy and catch the football. And then show enough from the running game for them to actually commit to it. Maybe we need to be running 7 yards per carry. Like, there's just so many things going wrong right now with this team that
he's not fixing it.
This is why I said, as much as everyone knows I love Tua and believe in Tua and his future, even I said he ain't fixing this right now. He might match it for a bit.
It's so infuriating because you hear Watson people say, "Oh, well, look what he did with the team last year," and is it not fair to say
they won
the
4
team
games, bro.
this year is worse than the team last year over in Houston? And look what they're doing.
First of all, do we have a Laramie Tunsil on our team right
No.
now? And then do we have anyone that was producing at the clip Will Fuller was before he got hit with the PEDs?
Exactly.
And then you go look at they also had Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb last year. And here's my thing. And even still, with all of that, when everything was falling apart, yes, he put up almost 5,000 yards individually, but the team won 4 games because he wasn't enough. Even when he put up almost 5,000 yards and the amazing numbers he put up last year and the play he did, it still wasn't enough to overcome
not even close.
Bad coaching and deficiencies on the field on both sides of the ball. Why is he gonna come here and all of a sudden do that for us when he couldn't do that for you?
Well, that's exactly what would happen. That's what would happen if he comes here. He will likely have good, provided he stays healthy. But he would put up good numbers, but we still probably wouldn't win shit because of the problem.
Yeah, but you know what? But then Dolphin fans would have individual stats to brag about and make them feel better at night.
Yeah,
you know what that is? That's their mediocrity bed they want to lie down in. Yeah, we can't win, but at least. Oh, it's like the Marino era. We're getting numbers from our quarterback.
Man, those stats are also nuked.
Well, but see, that's the problem though, because that's what Stephen Ross wants too. He wants his motherfucking Marino. Anyway, but look, all I gotta say is don't lose this fucking game on Sunday, because if you lose this game, bro, all bets are off, man.
Those stats are nuked.
Go ahead,
bro.
Gen Z. Go ahead.
Anybody can throw for 5,000 yards when you're down 35-7.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
110%. Go ahead, Jency.
Jameis Winston.
With the coaching being, with Brian Flores being how he is, and how, and the pointing fingers going on in the building right now. Let's say Tua comes back and he shows that he's a franchise guy. Could it be a scenario where the team is divided with X and Tua on one side and coaches on the other, and basically Tua comes back and somewhat saves the season, but yet we can, in a scenario, still see Flores go in the offseason?
The only person on the coach's side is Jerome Baker, because he's robbing them. That's the only player on their side.
I've heard Tua likes Brian Flores.
That's
he likes this guy.
Do you really think though? Come on, Reason, or is that just him being nice? I just think Tua's a nice guy.
I just think he sees the best in everyone.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I can't.
But didn't he lie about even having lunch with the guy and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you know, Papa Gallo in his
PR,
ear, like,
right?
Papa Gallo in his ear, like, bro, son, what are you doing right now? Like, fuck this dude.
I mean, Tua worked under Saban, and Saban was his biggest hard ass in the league. So, Flores ain't going to bother.
Yeah, but the problem is they also said, though, that, Saban's an asshole as a coach, but as a human being, as to his players, he's a freaking amazing guy. And Flo's not that way. He's not either of those. He's an asshole, but he can't freaking be a nice guy. So you still don't want to go to war for him.
So that's what I'm asking. That's what kind of what my point is. It's like,
you guys really hate Flo, huh?
Saved, but we still see him go.
Yes.
Hey, ho. Flo has got to go.
I can't speak on him as a person. I can speak on him as a coach and how he handles his players.
Yeah, I know, but everybody here's like down in his character, like you guys know him.
Yeah, but I mean,
I've never been high on
Belichick's an
him.
asshole.
No, but I'm saying how he treats his players outside of the game.
But you don't know exactly
and with your stuff, Reason, he deals with players outside of the game in a different way. Saban, he was an asshole on the field like Brian Flores, but Saban is actually a good, he's good to his players when he's not, in a meeting or whatever. He jokes with them. He has lunch with them. he jokes around with them and whatever. And I just don't see Flo as that guy.
Yeah, I just want to see. I want to see Flo and Gallo in the next UFC title match.
I just have other issues with Flo. I don't care about stuff like that. Like, you don't know exactly what the players feel about him. If Tua says he likes him, he likes him. Are you gonna call Tua a liar?
Yeah.
Like
the thing
Well,
that
I think he's probably being nice, but
I said to the person that told me this, he just seems like the type of guy that sees the best in everyone and gives everyone the benefit of the doubt. And I was told that's exactly who Tua is.
Yeah, he sees the good in everyone.
Yeah, he's a legit Christian. Like, he's not one of those fraudulent Christians that you know what I mean. They claim that they're a good person, and then they
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not David Koresh.
I'm having deja vu right now. Wow. I'm legit having deja vu right now, and I remember dreaming this right now. This conversation, like I was just looking at a different page while telling you guys that it was deja vu 110%.
I love deja vu moments. They're so fun.
Yeah,
it's the Matrix. The glitch. Glitch in the Matrix.
But no one's offered me a pill yet, bro.
Hey, Reason, since you can see the future,
right?
since you can see the future,
I mean, they have.
I took a blue.
What? Say again, Z-Man?
I said, since you can see the future, is Tua still the guy then next year?
If people have actually been paying attention to me, what I've been saying, I don't trust. I've been making comparisons to like Alex Smith and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of you're going to have an inept coaching staff that doesn't know how to use them. He goes somewhere else and he blows up.
And he blossoms, yeah.
That's right now. I'll tell you right now. Okay, as this regime stands, Tua will not be successful with this regime. I don't think.
No, because it's set up for failure at every level possible.
So really, we massively overachieved last season, didn't we? When you look at it,
yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Me and Ballgame have actually talked about that for quite some time on this platform and on the Finish Line with Richmond Webb. We've talked about that. Like the first time Ballgame ever said we should have went 8-8 was on the Finish Line with me and Richmond Webb months and months ago. Like with this overachieve, if you actually, like I said, when your defense is top 3 in scoring defense and really number 1 for the majority of the year, the number 1 defense, red zone defense, and the number 1 defense on third downs.
Yeah.
And then you have a turnover streak at the rate we had with X getting 10 picks in 1 year. That's a recipe where your offense doesn't have to do much because they're legitimately winning games for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And special teams was really good last year too, and they got.
But it started to fall off when it mattered. Though it fell off in the Raiders game, and it fell off in the Bills game too. Remember?
Yeah,
that special teams return in the Bills game blew the door open on that.
And that was a glimpse of the reality of the Dolphins
of what the team is.
Yeah, and people,
you know what the thing is. I'm gonna tell you what the thing is right now. You know what it looks like? It looks like they have not recovered from the Bills. Mm-hmm. Like they had confidence after the Patriots game, but then Tua got knocked out. They got shellacked, and they're like. And a lot of the core was the team that got blown out last year. And they're like, oh, shit, here we go again. Yeah. But without Tua, we can't even put points up on the board right now.
And that's why they're not buying into the systems and stuff anymore in large part. But look,
if they were the Patriots, if we were the Patriot way, how many times did Garoppolo or Brissett or whomever come in and win games? Ryan Mallett. Remember when everyone wanted Ryan Mallett and the Texans traded for Ryan Mallett because he could come in and they could plop him in and he could win?
He's going to drop that hammer. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, look at if you're the Patriot way, even the backups could come in and we could fetch a second or third round pick for the way our backup plays behind these guys. And but we don't they had one of the best offensive line coaches in the last 20 years.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? They had guys that they had the GOAT quarterback. Sorry, I'm a Reno fan, but that's just a reality right now. Yeah. And they had all those players who bought in. Okay, here's my thing. Everyone bought in on that team not because of Belichick. They bought in because of Tom. That's why Gronk followed him everywhere. Yeah. That's why Edelman didn't last very long after he left. Oh, they all bought in because of Tom.
Yeah.
Tua isn't as tenured as all these guys. Like if you go look at Tom Brady, go look at the early. I know you know what I'm talking about because you talked about up here. The early incarnations of their championship teams were built on what? Running games and defenses, right? Then once once Tom Brady evolved into the guy, unquestionably, really after that Moss year where he broke the single season record that later got broke again.
Yep.
But when he broke that, he evolved into that guy. And now when they brought in Welker, when they brought in Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, they all started leaning on Tom because he was tenured. They're expecting Tua to act like a tenured 12-year veteran that all these guys can lean on because who's their most tenured offensive guy right now? Devontae Parker, Jesse Davis. What are we dealing with? Guys who aren't even seeing the field.
Yeah.
Guys who are I'm talking about in the league. Who are our most tenured guys right now? It's like Devontae Parker. Will Fuller's got to be up there offensively.
Yeah.
Jesse Davis, the Vikings drafted him, I forget when, 2016, 2017. You look at all these guys, and it's like we're leaning on a bunch of guys who can't stay healthy, and really, we're leaning on a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah, it's backwards as fuck. It's backwards.
And then the coaching staff has no one to lean on because they're all a bunch of young experienced
Rookies,
guys.
They're all babies.
That I said this before. I'll say it again. You go look at their coaching staff on their website, guys. So a lot of the coaches are like, because it'll say it's his like Dylan. It's Dylan's 13th year as in coaching in the NFL, his second year with the Dolphins. A lot of these guys are like, it's just second year with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Because they don't have
third year with the Dolphins.
before that.
Yeah, and then you got other guys that are like, oh, he's in the league for 6 years, and this is his second year with the Dolphins. Like, give me a break right now. It's just there's no one to lean on when things are going awry. And as shitty as Van Noy was, as shitty as Lawson was, as shitty as these guys were performance-wise, you did not replace the leadership.
That's why.
Yeah, you know what a big issue with that is? You know what a big issue with that is like now, even if Flo wanted to bring in a better coach, like no coach is going to want to come here because they know that he's on the hot seat and he's probably going out the door. And then that means that they're going to come in here for like a year? They got to bring in their families and then just get fired because
the shit's coming down, man.
So even if he wants to hire experienced coaches, how is he going to get them to come into the building? If we have a bad year this year and if they keep Flo, that's the situation that we're going to be in.
We're going to have the same coaches.
He's got to go to the college routes. He's got to go get.
And that's even if he goes that route because obviously he
tried to last year go the college route, and Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers, didn't want to come here.
Bro,
and here's the thing. Here's the thing. He wanted to stay the offensive coordinator at Clemson. And Dabo Sweeney is not some 70-year-old dude. Dabo Sweeney is young, and he ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, dude, he would have to get like high school coaches, bro. He's gonna have to get like high or pee-wee coaches at this point because nobody's gonna want to fucking work with him.
Or low level position coaches like assistant like linebacker coaches and like.
Well, remember he wanted to bring Kingsbury. What's the guy from Arizona?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury. Yeah, who has COVID right now.
On his list.
Yeah,
but, I mean that would be.
He got a coaching job. All right, let's go through some final thoughts. We're about to hit 2 hours, so CT, let's start with you.
I hope for a win because I want to see the Dolphins win. I'm starved for it. My hole is getting deeper and deeper. I don't believe in Flores. But I think that again, if it gets Flores out the door, I'm willing to lose this game. But I still think Tua comes out and puts 2 TDs on the board. I still think he shows us something. It's just whether or not this offensive line and these offensive coaches can put a decent game plan together. And if this defense shows up, pins up.
Kentucky born, your final thoughts, buddy.
The season starts now, guys. Hopefully Tua comes in. I'm hoping for Tua to come in and light it up. And hopefully cheer everybody up. But Flo's definitely got to go. Fins up.
Dylan, your final thoughts.
Thanks for having me. It's been a good chat as always. Yeah, I just gotta say, bro, don't lose this game, because if you lose this game, that's a wrap on so many levels, bro. The season's over. You lost the fan base. You lost the locker room, pitchforks, everything. Like, don't lose this game or you're fucked. So that's what I gotta say. Fins up.
Z-Man, your final thoughts.
Oh, I got back just in time. Well, here we go down this dark road of despair, just like every other Dolphin season.
Let's go.
But it's gonna be okay, because next year we're gonna have a coach who know what he's doing, and Brian Dabble. So go Dolphins. Fins up.
Yes.
Attaboy.
Yes.
Logan, your final thoughts.
One, I'll never, ever, ever wish for this team to lose. I don't care if I like the coach or not. Like, we gotta win. We gotta win out, and that's what I want. Like, I don't care. I just want us to win. So that's where I stand on that.
Bro, Pyro, you sound like a witch when you laugh, bro. Go ahead, Logan.
But
I'm trying to, man. It's
but
dark.
yeah, we are on that.
Halloween.
We are on that brink where it could be disaster, and if we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know. I might just have to walk out on my job, because I'm going to be listening to the game. Like,
don't do that, Logan. Don't do that.
No,
he's gonna quit. He's gonna be like, "Fuck this."
I'm just gonna quit life. I'm just gonna quit life. No, but yeah, and there's a lot of bad things happening with this franchise right now. Like, we can't even cheer at our home team without getting yelled at, by security. So that's what I heard today. That was interesting. Or I was on Twitter with Golf Freaky. Yeah. So I read that today. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So, we just gotta, I don't know. They gotta figure out how to win, and they better figure it out faster. We're in trouble. But fins up. We're not gonna lose though. 31-21 Dolphins.
Oh God.
British Fin fan, your final thoughts, buddy.
Well, I just like to say I appreciate the chat tonight. I appreciate the Dolphins playing in my home country. I just want to let you guys know the Dolphins are a very well supported team over here in the UK, one of the top teams. It's a shame that the game is between two struggling teams right now.
Fin fan, right, dropping rhymes over here. Go ahead.
Didn't even realize reason.
Didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it. Poet, and I didn't even know it.
So natural.
Yeah. But we just got to. I think Flores has just tried to be too cute, thinking he can coach up the rookies and take guys off the street like Belichick did, and it's biting him in the ass right now, and it's killing the team at 1-4. And they shouldn't let Benardrick McKinney go. They should have signed more free agents like Tony and Hudson and one or two other offensive linemen that we can all reel off. They should have done that, and they didn't. And we're getting his asses kicked now, and we're 1-4 and panic button. We're bringing Tua back at 70%, according to Omar Kelly. He thinks he's about 70%. His ribs aren't healed. He's wearing a flak jacket. He's not got full motion in practice, according to Omar Kelly. So I hope to God we can just protect Tua and get some quick slants going and some quick RPOs going, and hopefully get Myles Gaskin involved, get a running game going and stick to it, man. Come on, don't abandon the run. And fins up. Hope we can win in London for you guys and come back to the States 2-4. And let's see if there's a revival or if it's a false dawn.
That's
Pyro.
Man.
Well, Logan brought a little light down in this hole. But nah, I'm sorry, Logan. I'm tired of you getting your hopes up and then it being dashed every Sunday. But I try to help you out, but I don't have faith in this team. But I think they'll pull out a W. I won't be excited about it though.
That's just so weird to me, man. Like, dude, like, Flo ain't my favorite person, But if you know,
Yeah, I want us to win, man.
I just want us to win.
I do too, but damn it, man, I don't want to go through another year next year just like this.
We don't have to if he wins. That's my point.
He go
Like if
13
he
and
Yes,
wins,
four.
we
if they
do.
win out,
The
if they win out the
ignorance
rest of
and
the
the
year, we could
incompetence is going to continue if he's here next year.
not
if
they
his
win out
job.
and make the playoffs. Like he's like, what if that happens? What if he gets it together?
For
So you
me-
got to
for me-
root for him until he's off the team. Okay.
All right,
That's
Gen
not
Z.
even my final
Let
thought.
Gen Z. Let's get your final thoughts, dude.
Well, fellas, this is the second in 28, man. It's Tua's time, man. It's this game, this Sunday. We gotta see him show up. I'm hoping he does. He's got to save the season, or at least save himself. I don't know, man. I can't see another season of us, or just go through the whole emotional labor of buying into another coach, hoping that he's the guy, and just the whole roller coaster all over again, man.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Uh,
for the best, but last time I seen us lose in London, heads rolled. So
Yeah.
Philbin got fired.
I was there. Joe Philbin.
all right. Joel, your final thoughts.
Hey, Reason, I appreciate you having me up here, bro. I just wanted to say that I think tomorrow Tua comes out and slings it for like 275 and 2 touchdowns. I think Waddle has a big game and Jalen Phillips has another sack. But I think the coaching staff needs to trust these rookies, man. You know, trust Javon Holland's knowledge of the game and his sideline to sideline ability, and you know, just we need to get back on track. That's all I got to say.
All right, boys. I will be back 9 a.m. Eastern for the 9:30 kickoff. We'll do a little pregame if anyone's awake. Get your tea, get your crumpets, because we're in England. And until then, boys, fins up all day, every day. And I leave you with this. And I leave you with this in your head for the rest of the weekend.
Tua, please save our team from this long losing streak. Please heal our pain. Lost to the Colts and Bucks, starting to not give a fuck. Blow, he can change our luck. To save the team. Bangers and pass.